One. Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Going to go a little bit north up here to the Lincoln Blue Tigers, Lincoln College Prep, and head coach William Lowe. And Coach Lowe, hey, thanks so much for making time here to be with us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And kind of had you on here. I noticed, here in the last couple of days, had some scheduling things going on, and I was kind of trying to help by just retweeting, and getting it all out. But you guys have kind of managed that. You might kind of explain what's happened, because you're going to play not tonight, not Friday, but you're going to play next Tuesday and then next Saturday. You might kind of explain how all that came about.
Right. Yeah. The last, I'd say 48 hours has been kind of wild, which I know high school coaches kind of know what we're going through. It's kind of an unstable time, and it's not very fun time in the profession because, just a few years ago, you could game plan all week and know who you're going to play Friday. And that was the only stressors we had. Now we got stressors Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just trying to make it to Friday. And unfortunately, this past week, Wednesday, we found out the team we were going to play Friday, East, wasn't quite done with their COVID protocols or quarantine, and that wasn't going to end until next Tuesday. So immediately we started searching for a replacement game for this Friday. And unfortunately, we couldn't find any. We reached out to everybody, Arkansas, some teams in Iowa, as far away as Pratt, Kansas, but unfortunately the teams didn't want to play. We weren't able to make it work. So we had to go with plan B and just push our East game to next Tuesday when they're off of quarantine. And then that pushed our following Friday game into Saturday.
Yeah. And that Friday game into Saturday, you switched opponents. As I understand it, with East Kansas City, you're now playing Cardinal Ritter.
Right. So originally we were scheduled to play Sumner, which is a Kansas City, Kansas team, and East, who's in our district, kind of a member school of our school district, was scheduled to play Cardinal Ritter, the powerhouse out of St. Louis. And when we were in talks to making the game work on Tuesday, we said, hey, if we can get all this scheduled, we'll take the game against Cardinal Ritter, and East could take the game against Sumner. Just to try to help out with the competitive balance a little bit. Now, it'll still be an extremely tough game for us, but we're looking forward to playing a great team like Cardinal Ritter for sure.
And again, we're visiting here with Lincoln College Prep Blue Tigers head coach William Lowe. And Coach, kind of tell us a little bit about the Blue Tigers. What can folks expect to see? What are your numbers like, and what type of offense that you kind of run in this? And I know I live in Bolivar and they're in your district, so I'm not doing any scouting. But
no, yeah, no problem. You can see it with huddle and everything on film now. It's like, all the coaches, we all know about each other anyway. So quick backstory. I took over here in 2017. We've been a great academic school. We're a public school, but we're a public magnet school. So if kids live in our school district, the Kansas City Public School District, they can come to Lincoln as long as their GPA is high enough and they meet the testing requirements. So when I took over in 2017, we were kind of at a down point in our football program at that time. We had about 35 kids, 9 through 12. We went 3-7 that year, my first season, but we were able to get some really good incoming freshmen into Lincoln, into the school. 2018, we went 6-4 and lost to Harrisonville in the playoffs. 2019 was kind of our breakout year. We went 11-0 in the regular season, advanced to the district finals. We had beat a couple teams in the playoffs, beat Excelsior Springs, and then ultimately we lost to Platte County, who played in the state championship game that year. We lost a close game to them. And then last year, we followed that up with a 7-3 record and lost in the district championship again last year. But our offense has changed a little bit. People might have seen some highlights of our old quarterback. He was 330 pounds, Howard Brown, that plays defensive tackle at Iowa State right now. But he could sling the ball pretty well. So we were more spread and kind of open the last few years. And this year, we've kind of gotten back to just the basics, some smash mouth football and getting under center and running some I formation and coming right downhill at people. Because we have a really experienced offensive line and a couple of really good running backs. So we're really trying to just play to our strength this season.
As you look at your schedule, you're coming off of back-to-back wins and decisive wins over Benton and Cameron. What are some things you feel like you're doing really well right now? And maybe what are some things that you maybe feel like you need to work on here going into week 3?
Right. I think as I talked about the experience of our O-line, that's been one huge strength of ours. And another strength is our defense. We lost 4 Division I players off of our defense from last year. And so, the past 2 years, we've kind of relied on those 4 guys to make all the tackles and do everything on defense. And this year we knew it had to be a team effort. So all through the offseason, we preached just getting 11 guys to the ball, and they responded tremendously. Through the first 2 games, our starting defense hasn't given up a touchdown and has held the opponents to under 200 yards of total offense. So our defense has been flying around and swarming to the ball, and that's been a huge surprise. And anytime you can play good defense in high school, it's a plus. Now our schedule is going to start getting a lot tougher, so we'll see how well we can maintain that.
Kind of handicap your conference that you were in. Talk about some of those teams and what are the challenges there, and kind of where maybe you feel like you guys fit in to that conference race.
Right. So our conference really is called the Interscholastic League, and there's only 5 schools in it, and we've kind of separated ourselves from the other schools in the conference. So we actually have dropped 3 of those schools. We only are going to play 2 conference games this year. And so the rest of our games are all non-league games. We'll try to play other teams, like our first 2 games, Benton and Cameron, are out of area games. We try to get as good a schedule as we can to get us prepared for districts and playoffs. So we'll travel 2 hours north and play Maryville week 7. It's kind of a fun deal because we're almost like a college independent, it can be tough at times with scheduling, but it can also be good because you're kind of able to go out and find games and find people you really want to play to make yourself better.
Yeah, talk about you travel, that 2 hours. Is that typical? I mean, is that maybe the furthest you go out? I know Cardinal Ritter's out of St. Louis, but they're coming to you.
Right. And so, yeah, we like the St. Louis trip. We played it in 2019. We traveled down to St. Louis and played University City. And that's a good trip for our kids. It prepares them like a college. We go down, spend the night, eat as a team and hang out. I don't mind the long trips. Cameron and Benton were about an hour. Maryville's about 2 hours. That'll be our farthest trip this year. But yeah, Cardinal Ritter's coming from St. Louis. So it's kind of good to get the kids to experience some teams from out of the area if they can.
You've got East Kansas City coming up next Tuesday. Kind of looking at your district, and I kind of mentioned already, but you've got the likes of Warrensburg, yourself, Bolivar's in that. Nevada is off to a tremendous start as well. What are your expectations there going in, to that district that I believe Warrensburg won a year ago?
Yeah, it's a tough district. I like it. Coaches typically look at districts 2 ways. You can either try to take the easier approach to schedule if you have a light schedule and try to get a 1 or 2 seed. In our district, we only have 7 teams. So the 1 seed is going to get a bye. And then 2 seed is going to play 7. So you can look at it that way, but I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum this year. That hasn't really worked for us in the past. We've been the 1 seed in the district championship. So this year I'm kind of trying to front load our schedule and make it as tough as we can during the regular season and not worry so much about district standings. I figure if we're battle tested during the year, when we get to districts, everybody in there is good. So to me, it's not going to matter so much this year where you fall. You're going to have to beat good teams to win the district. So that's why I decided to pick up Cardinal Ritter. That's why I'm happy we're playing Maryville, just to try to get some quality opponents under our belt so we are prepared for that gauntlet of what our district's going to be.
Hey, you mentioned you took over in 2017. Kind of where did you grow up, and where did you cut your teeth, and what was your college experience like?
Right. So I'm from Topeka, Kansas originally, and played for my dad. My dad was a high school coach for 45 years and was kind of all over. So I went to Independence Community College after playing for my dad in Topeka. Played quarterback there for 2 years. We ran the flex bone down to Independence. And then I transferred to University of Wisconsin River Falls just because they ran the flex bone. And flex bone quarterbacks can't play in anything but offense. So I went up to the Wisconsin River Falls, finished out my career there, and then came back to the area to coach. I coached in KCK for a little bit, and then coached at Blue Valley Southwest out in Overland Park before I took over the job here at Lincoln.
Outstanding. Well, you've got tonight off. but then next week you've got 2 games, and that's got to be a first.
Yeah, you know what? I think with the COVID stuff, kind of Misha made some exceptions last year with that. If you can get games in, you got to, you got to get them in where you can. So yeah, we got to get everybody rested and healthy and try to be ready to go next week and navigate that the best we can.
Well, Coach, and again, we're visiting with Coach William Lowe, head football coach at Lincoln College Prep. And Coach, I really appreciate you being generous with your time and joining us here on High School Game Day on the Missouri Sports Network.
No, I appreciate all of what you do. I mean, there's some good high school football in Missouri, so it's good to have people like you that are out there promoting it because the kids need it. And I know the coaches in Missouri put a lot of time in, and it's become a big deal. So I appreciate it.
You bet. Coach, hey, best of luck, and as you go forward, and hopefully we'll get to visit again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Coach William Lowe from Lincoln College Prep, and we'll step away and be back after this.